Congress MP Shashi Tharoor continues to stir the pot of speculation. On the 5th anniversary of the COVID-19 lockdown, Tharoor lauded the Modi government's COVID vaccine diplomacy. In a column, he wrote about how the program stood out amid the horrors of that time as a powerful example of international leadership rooted in responsibility and solidarity. Tharoor further wrote that India emerged as a key player in global health diplomacy, showcasing its capacity to address global challenges, and that India did what more affluent countries did not. Now, this has added another positive remark to the list of praises by the veteran Congress leader for the central government. He had recently appreciated Prime Minister Modi's anti-war stance on Russia-Ukraine conflict, who had said that peace cannot be found on the battlefield.
No, look, I particularly don't want to comment on any individual, including Mr. Shashi Tharoor. He has a long history of speaking from both sides of his mouth. But we recently saw him congratulate the Prime Minister or appreciate the Prime Minister's approach towards a Prime Minister's diplomacy on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Everybody on the planet, every sane thinking man and woman on this planet knows that India played a significant role in helping the poorer countries, the global south countries during this COVID. So it is only some people in the Congress who have put their head in the sand and tried to ignore that. So it is good that some Congress people are waking up to what the world has already been saying about Prime Minister Narendra Modi-ji.
That time when COVID went out, COVID vaccinations went out, it's a good thing. India produces COVID vaccinations. The question at that time was that when we desperately needed COVID ourselves, vaccinations ourselves, that is not a time that when we, send vaccinations abroad. Okay, and Mr. Shashi Tharoor may have a point of view. I don't necessarily agree with him. But I think the point that Mr. Tharoor must also understand is how badly COVID was managed in India. And there are certain states in which COVID management was very good, which unfortunately were not BJP states. I think that's also a point he needs to highlight. He has to understand that whenever you praise or discuss an issue, you have to also, look critically at that issue. And I think some of these statements, when it appears that he takes a one-sided view, obviously he will be criticized by members of his party and other opposition members.
What Shashi Tharoor ji is saying is basically an acknowledgement of the good work done by the government. And that's how it should be. If India does well, it's a matter of pride for every Indian. There can't be partisan politics on it. So when he's spoken on the vaccine diplomacy, it's a statement of fact. And this is what would have been expected from the entire Congress party, not just one member from within the party.